Welcome back to Gunna Fan TV and welcome back to another match reaction, guys. Arsenal versus Wolves at the Emirates. Let me try to be positive. Let me start off by saying 3 points gain. But oh my lord, 97% oral lost, bro. What a performance. Shocking performance today by Arsenal at home against a struggling Wolves, bro. Only 2 points this season from 16 games, bro. 14 defeats. And we didn't score a goal against them, bro. They scored two own goals, man. Yo, what are we talking about? I stayed up to watch this game, not feeling too well. And Arsenal stressed me out today watching the performance, bro. But I'm gonna be positive. 3 points, we move 5 points top of the league. City has to play tomorrow. So listen, job done. If you're gonna be positive, job done. A lot of Arsenal fans don't want to blame Mikel for anything, but that performance today was dead, bro. You know what I'm saying? How are we sitting back against Wolves? Tell me that, man. How are we sitting back against Wolves until they scored? Like Wolves shouldn't be putting any pressure on us, bro. Our quality is too much for that team to be putting pressure on us, bro. Our second team should have beaten that Wolves team easily, bro. What are you telling me? But I'm gonna be positive. I'm gonna be positive. 3 points. A win is a win. You know what I mean? They say what? A ugly win is better than a pretty loss, and we almost lost. But let's get it right, man. The performance today was dead. It was bad. You know, you can't. You could probably I can't even really pinpoint a player who stood out. Maybe Declan Rice, you know what I'm saying? Saliba looked all right. Saliba looked solid, and Kepi also looks solid. I mean, it's good to see those two getting a partnership going together. Hopefully that, they stay together for a while because Nkapia has been, you know, they've just been switching partners. It's not his fault, but it's just the way the injuries are working this season. It's just how it's happening this season with the injuries, man. He hasn't really had a stable partner in what, maybe six or so games. So hopefully him and Saliba could build a partnership. Because look again, Ben White is out. So that's another injury concern. We don't know what it is, but he had to come off the field. So it was bad enough for him to come off the field because he couldn't continue. You know, we could argue it, bro. A lot of people don't like me saying that the injuries are because of Mikel and his management. But, let me know if you think Ben White should have been playing today. This is his fourth straight game. I mean, he had to play because the first two he had to play because we had injuries. And I don't think that was the plan for Ben White coming into these games. I think that first game that he played, it was supposed to be him playing that game, then resting, then having Timber again. But then, we got injuries where it was Mascara who got injured, and then Timber had to fill into that center back position, and then Ben White had to cover down a right back for the second game. And then Timber went down after that Aston Villa game. So Ben White is stuck again. He's stuck over in that right side again in the right back position because Timber is down. And then the fourth game, which was today, right? Because that third game when Timber went down, you had Norgard playing that position. So again, you had Ben White stuck out there. So this would be the fourth game. So I don't think that was a plan for him to be playing 4 games back to back. But for this fourth game, though, tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe it could have been managed better. We don't listen. We're not fortune tellers. I didn't know that he was going to get injured. No one knew, but I did kind of allude to it in my live stream, saying, "Yo, what if he? I don't think the two of them should be playing. You know what I'm saying? Like you shouldn't have Timber and Ben White playing at the same time because what if Ben White gets injured? You know what I'm saying? Like I was actually saying that on my stream, and that happened. I'm like, why didn't Skelly start instead? And kind of rest one of them then. Rest Ben White and use Timber. Don't use him on the left. I don't know why Mikel did that. He did it. It's over. It's done. He's injured. I mean, we got to move on. But it makes you wonder. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna ask the questions. Could he have handled it better, managed it better? I don't know. Whatever. Let me move on. Because people are gonna say I'm too negative. It's Mikel. It's Mikel that. However, the performance overall from the team today was crap, man. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. The midfield looked sluggish. We weren't quick enough. We just kept moving. Like, why are we controlling the game against Wolves? Like, just attack them. A couple of times we went down the flanks and stuff. Like, that's when the goals were produced. You know what I mean? Like, it was a set piece. On one of them, the second one was, Saka whipping it in. You know what I'm saying? That's how we create problems. Just attack them. We looked dangerous when we were actually attacking them. But it was just such a dead performance, man. I mean, I can't really pinpoint a moment where I was excited. It was boring. A team like this that's struggling, that comes to your place, bro. You got to put them away quick, and then get some players off the field and rest them for next week. It's a lot to unpack. I just really want to unpack it here because I'm frustrated. I was frustrated at the way we played today. Yacarez, he didn't look good today. It's hard to defend him. I mean, he's not getting all the service that he should be getting, but he's not helping his case either, man. He needs to make it happen for himself too. You can't sit out there and wait for other players to make it happen for you, bro. You made all the sacrifice to come to this team. You know what I'm saying? So you have to kind of step up and kind of play your part too. And I don't think he's doing that. I saw glimpses, to be honest. He kind of, turned the defender and, got a shot off, drew a couple of fouls and stuff. The second half was a little bit better, but is that what we want to see from our striker? We want to see more. But I'm willing to give him time. I'm going to give him time. If he helps us win the title, who's going to care how he played this season? You know what I mean? If we win the title, no one's going to care. But we need to see more. But overall, guys, listen, I'll take the win. It's not much to say. Terrible performance. I'm not going to keep saying that because you all watched the game. You all saw it. We're going to probably break it down further on Monday after the City game and just see what happens. But we'll take the win. But as I said, man, not a really good performance. The team probably gets a maybe 5 average performance. We won the game, but overall, everybody probably gets a 6 or a 5. But we move, man. We'll take it. So I appreciate you guys. Listen, smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Comment, tell me what you think. You don't have to agree with me, but let's just have a discussion and tell me why you disagree with me. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next one, man. Peace.